Well, I didn't expect it today, but here we are with the new Forbidden Limited list, effective as of December 1st, 2022. Not too much to say in the intro besides this. Let's jump into it. Alright, thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and if you are new here, or just perhaps haven't done so yet, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Click the like button, subscribe, click the bell icon to stay notified. It really does help, and it only takes a second. But you guys are here for the ban list, and let's get into it. So, I did obviously kind of look at this, I had to in order to grab the graphics, but we're going to talk about the significance of this, and I didn't really expect a ban list to be dropped right now, but that's where we're at. So let's see what we're working with here. Forbidden Limited List card update effective December 1st. A lot of people thought we could get a list relatively soon because of how dominant Tier Elements has been. And the first thing that may stick out to you guys here, of course, is Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine has finally been banned. I had honestly thought that they might sort of peel back from banning that for a while because it's not the biggest problem card in the format, especially with Tier Element being so dominant. But they have, of course, hit it when it was a little bit less of a problem. But let's be honest, we all kind of wanted this move. I think Mystic Mine was definitely asking for the ban, and in this case has just been too abusable, has put game states into very unfun situations to play in, where it's just kind of like, all right, we're sitting here, we're dealing with this, so good riddance on this card is what I say. I'm sure there could be a point in time where we're like, oh, I wish we had Mystic Mine as an option to counter this, because that's how the community works. People go back and forth, and everyone's kind of wishy-washy, but right now, happy to see it banned. And then, of course, the other card banned is Curious the Lightsworn Dominion. So this is a Link monster that had been seeing a lot of play. It's just really easy to set up ridiculous combos with it. The Nightmare Griffin combo is obviously the most profound, but there are different cards you can do with it. I'm not shocked by this one being hit, as it does slow down some of those combos. Although I thought we might have seen a stronger hit to Tier Elements in the Forbidden section, it does kind of make sense that with all of that product still being active and there still being money to make, that they might try to hit that in other ways. So the ban list at Mystic Mine is huge. I think a lot of people are going to be really happy about this, and inevitably people are going to complain dramatically once this actually comes out, even though the same people that were like, oh, they got to ban mine, and be like, well, they didn't do this, whatever. So, like, you're never going to make everybody happy, but this is a pretty good start. I do think mine being hit is definitely going to make a lot of people happy. And I talked about the Sky Strikers deck in the video yesterday. I mean, mine being hit's definitely going to take that deck down a peg, so people should probably calm down just a bit. But no more Mind Burn versus Mind Burn at YCSs for the foreseeable future, which I think has to be something that we're all pretty happy about. Now, for the limited section, this one came as a bit of a surprise, but not really. Herald of the Orange Light has been put to 1 from 3. This card, obviously, a 3 of in Tier Elements with the Ishizu stuff, and I think even some of the other variants like Naturia or anything that was playing the Ishizu stuff was probably playing this as a way to counter Dimension Shifter. This was obviously one of Tier Elements' biggest weapons against the banishing cards, and they did go ahead and limit it. So it is not the most detrimental hit to the deck, but it certainly does increase their sort of, I don't know which word you want to call it, sort of increases their weakness to cards that banish, especially Dimension Shifter, and does hurt the deck a little bit in terms of going first and being uninterrupted, which is good to see. I don't know that that's really like the only hit I would have made, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. I think we're still going to see Tier dominate, but it's a good move in that direction. Now, semi-limited was just Lyrilusk Recital Starling. I don't even know that this card was seeing a ton of play right now, but maybe I'm wrong. If I am, kind of correct me on that in the comments below. I think it may have just been a maintenance move, because I believe it was at 1, and maybe now they're just moving it back to test the waters. Probably the most uninteresting hit here, but I think as they kind of go forward, we'll probably see this peel off back to 3, as long as there's no abusability with it. Now, the unlimited section is massive. Mine getting hit was huge, but let's talk about the biggest move, Tellarknight Ptolemaeus coming back. This is huge because this card has been banned for so long. I think it was 2017 that it officially got banned. It was part of combos where you could, like, basically make Cyber Dragon Infinity effortlessly, or Ptolemaeus M7 in pretty much any deck that can play rank 4s. I do think Ptolemaeus will see a lot of play right off the bat, although I do question whether or not it's going to be like as impactful as it was at the time of the ban. What I do think is really interesting is they peeled it right to 3 instead of moving it to 1 first, especially because this is a card that had been banned for so long. So this is kind of an interesting approach, but it does kind of open the door to itself. But Stellar Knight, or Stellar Knight Constellar Diamond. This is a rank 5 that you can very easily make by basically just ranking Ptolemaeus up into it, but it has some very interesting effects. It says, while this card has Xyz material, neither player can send cards from the deck to the graveyard, and any card that returns from the graveyard to the hand is banished instead. When during your either player's turn, when an opponent's Dark Monster activates its effect, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So Constellar Diamond is a massive slap in the face to Tellarknights. So Constellar Diamond is a massive slap in the face to Tearlaments. It hard counters that deck and does give another, pretty generic out for it. Of course, I guess in the mirror match, the deck could probably find ways to utilize. Now, I don't even know if there are a lot of rank 4s, maybe the Ishizu stuff, but that seems like you're kind of shoehorning. I think as a whole, though, this card is going to be what really is the most impactful thing off Ptolemaeus' return is Stellar Knight, Constellar Diamond. So just some food for thought. This card is huge. Obviously, people are going to find ways to play Ptolemaeus, but we also have a few other big hits. Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos are both back to 3, which is huge. These cards have been limited for as long as I can remember, going back to maybe 2012's Dino Rabbit format. I'm a little bit on the fence about Macro coming to 3. I do think it's a really powerful card, although it does give another counter to Tearlaments. So it looks like instead of hitting those cards, they were like, all right, well, we're going to give other decks the firepower to sort of counter those. And 3D Fissure and 3 Macro is definitely going to do that. I'm interested to see what type of impact it has because I do think those cards are really, really strong. And obviously, both of them coming back at the same time is interesting. But it's certainly going to shake things up. So it's a good thing for, the at least generating some potential interest in the format. And then we've got Tanky back to 3, which is fine, I guess. I mean, Tri-Brigade's not really dominating anymore. So Tanky coming back is just sort of like, all right, here it is. We'll see if it does anything. And then inevitably, once another deck comes out that utilizes it, they'll put it back to 1. I mean, that card moves so much, but I don't know. It's not a huge deal one way or another. And then Metaverse comes back to 3, which is fine. I mean, Mystic Mind being banned now essentially means Metaverse is nowhere near as powerful. And you can get things like Necro Rally from the deck, so it's another option to counter Tearlaments. So overall, this list really seemed to be more of a small list to like hard counter Tearlaments and keep the meta in check a little bit. I don't know whether or not that means that there's going to be another list coming down the road, in February, or if they're going to wait. But either way, I do think this should probably make some people happy. It does give some other decks the ability to step up a little bit and compete while still allowing Tearlaments to be a very powerful force. And it does give us the Mystic Mind ban, so there's that for people that have clamored for it. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I'm curious to see people's thoughts. Do you like the list? Do you think it's a step in the right direction? Is it not enough? I think it's good. I don't think it's great, but it's definitely hitting some moves and actually seeming to address some problems with the format. And so that's probably something good. And of course, Ptolemaeus coming back is huge. I didn't expect that one to happen, so let's see what happens. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.